So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to build a grinding boat, and you need a motorboat to do this. It's good for if you want to grind bullets into sort, and you're on island or like brag where stuff is easy to access. So at this point, I'm sinking the foundations. You don't have to get them inside the boat, but I did the inside the boat for just personal choice. But you want to get them low enough so whenever someone damages the boat, the foundations are hit instead of the boat. And right here, I'm kind of shucking very badly at putting the metal floors in because the snapping is glitching, or glitchy, I guess. And right here, this is about the level you can go to where it'll not be damaged whenever someone's trying to blow it up. And then I go one lower for design choice. So then I'm just building all the floors out here. So, and it needs to be around a 3x3 so you have the max foundational support. Or I would prefer it to be that way, just so you can have some more. And then here I built it out to be 5x5. I demo lots of it later, so the parts that I demo you can just skip over, but this is just generally so you can see the outline and the sort of how far you can build out. And you can build over the actual floor, the foundations with the ceilings, but I didn't because why not? And you need to build out 2 from your foundations to put the indie forges down. I'm going to put one on this side, and I'm going to put one on the other. And I screwed up here, and I'll fix it later on how far the forge is out, because eventually there's going to be doors next to the forges, and you need to be able to open it, the forge, from the door. And I tested this, and you can popcorn to the door from the forge. It pops out on that side, but you don't really want to popcorn too much because you won't be able to pick it all up or whip it. So then now I'm just building the basic outline. It's gonna be a weird like 3x5, I think, yeah. And it's gonna be too high just so you can place storage boxes in the sort down. And here's one of the areas where I demo. You need to be careful with your placement though, because if you're building it, you don't want the indie forge to be on the floors that you're demoing, because it's not useful to demo an extra indie forge or 2. And here I've placed the doors on the ceiling. Doesn't look good, but it doesn't matter. If you care about like design, making it look good, you can do it on your own, but just my personal choice not to do it. And then here I built further out so there's more room, and you could have an extra side going out at the very end, but I demolished it because it doesn't fit right and it'll make it get caught on more things and it blocks your view more. So I demoed that where I'm placing. And here is where I'm demolishing the forges because they're not working properly. Like, they're not close enough to the door, and it just won't work. And if the indie forge clips through the doors and the walls, then it's not going to work because you can't access it from behind the door, and you won't be able to open the door, so you won't be able to do it at all. So you gotta place it like about there, where if the doors open and they're touching the metal, that's about as close as you want it to be. And depending on the way that you place it, it's where the stuff is gonna popcorn at. So you really want to try and place it from facing the door and outward, which I didn't do on the other side, but on this side I placed it like that and it works. So now I'm building up the second story, I guess. And for either side of what I'm about to build, you can oh my god, I can't speak. Mishmatch and stuff. How I had this boat was the right side, I would fill that indie forge with charcoal, and so I would naturally have the chem benches for the charcoal and stuff to make gunpowder on the right side of the boat. So we got the chem benches down. I have them placed like this so you can access both of them while you're accessing the indie forge, which makes it a lot easier. And now we are making okay, we're placing a giant metal hatch frame on the ceiling because for this it's hard to get inside of the actual place. So we're gonna have it there so you can have an RG and an Anki, and you can just drop the Anki in. Just make sure that if you're not building exactly how I'm building it, you don't have something blocking the trapdoor, because that would kind of make its use obsolete. So right here we are going to place the grinder down so you can actually use it, and it's close to the fabricators and chem benches so you can put the stuff you grind into them. And right now we are crafting the fabricator, and we are placing it down behind the chem benches because it's ease of access. You have gunpowder from the chem benches and spark powder, so you can make stuff inside of the fabricator. And we are going to this back corner to place another fabricator for other uses, so you can be crafting advanced rifle bullets in both of them at the same time, or like electronics and then ARB in the other. Now we are crafting a smithy to put next to the fabricator so we can craft things that aren't fabricated. So your structures like pistol rounds, long neck rounds, and shotgun shells. So the use of it isn't completely gone, but it's still useful. And now we are placing ceilings around the base just so there is extra storage, so like all the other stuff that I don't place in here, you can place stuff down, such as beds, fridges, cryo fridges, and storage. And now we are finishing off the roof. And we're placing a Jenny back here. It's going through the wall, but that's just to save space. And you can access it through the hatch frame at the bottom. And this is just a Jenny box in the ceiling, so you can save space and actually walk around inside the base. And we're placing an outlet there, and we are going to place an outlet further at the back later in the video, just to get full coverage of the base and everything you can build inside of it. And now we are placing staircases down so we can get up into the raft, because that's important. And right here I am checking to see if when you popcorn stuff where it goes, and just to confirm where it goes, and it goes right to the door. Or if you had the door open, it'd go inside your base. But it's very important for your placement that you have the weird, like, opening in the forge's bottom facing your door, so you have to place the forge from looking out your door, because otherwise everything will go out the back. And here I'm trying to test putting bunk beds down. The bunk beds can't go on to the ceilings because you need like 1.1 walls high or something along those lines to place bunk beds. So I just switched to normal beds because they're also more cost efficient. Right now it's just kind of showing how you can build the base. I'm building it sloppily, and but it's just so you, the viewer, can see what I'm doing inside of here. And now I'm making large storage boxes because you can't place vaults in a raft, or not a raft, a motorboat. And because they're too high, I demoed the ceiling above, and I placed them, but because this game's bad, you can place them in an area like this, and then you can place a ceiling over it, and it'll still work even though it clips through the ceiling. So you only need one wall high for large storage boxes, but you can't place them in a one wall high area like if it has a ceiling. So it's like that. Now I'm just looking around inside, and we are going out the back. And now I'm working on just placing turrets. You can only use autos on motorboats and rafts, so that's what I'm doing. This turret placement isn't very good, but it's just to show how you should kind of place them. People can line of sight from the indie forges, but there's nothing really you can do about that. And this, because it's just a grinding raft, you shouldn't really have anything important in it. So I wouldn't really worry if it gets raided, unless they destroy the entire thing. And here is one of the areas where it's unpowered, so I go back inside and fix that by placing wires going from the back. And then I am going to start finishing up the turret placement. You don't want to have your turrets blocking the hatch frame because they're blocking it. It's just taking up space. But on that side where they're at, the left side, it's kind of the best part to block it at, if you have to block it, because you're not really trying to drop the Anki or Dodec inside on that side. And now I'm driving the motorboat over to a waterfall. This is about down the North One River, that's like between the mountain that you can spawn at and North 2, and which has Hidden Lake. And this is just down the river next to the redwoods, and I'm driving it into a waterfall right now, just to show you a place you can go. If I'd have a raft over here, I'd probably put it in this waterfall just because the area is pretty abundant in resources. And whenever you drive it into a waterfall, you need to be careful that you don't drive it too far into the mesh. Well, not really mesh, but the side of the waterfall. And you also need to make sure that your door and your way of getting inside the raft are visible, or you're able to access them, because otherwise you're gonna have a motorboat just chilling there and you can't do anything about it. You need to make sure you have a motorboat because you can back them up. So thank you for watching. Please leave any feedback or like questions in the comments. I'll try and answer them to the best of my ability.